Filthy Animals is an ecology podcast for adults. Episodes may contain strong language and graphic descriptions of natural phenomena. A more detailed list of content warnings is included in the episode description. Welcome to Filthy Animals, a sex, drugs, and ecology podcast where science educators talk about the unusual adult activities of the natural world that we think you need to know about. Every month we'll expose you to the latest research on all the filthy topics your high school science teacher was too embarrassed to talk about. I'm Alan.
I'm Rachel.
Are you sure? It kind of sounded like a question at the end, but I'm Nicole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicole,
Yes.
tell us a thing.
Can I tell you a couple things?
As many things as you want. We could be here
great.
for all
Hours?
morning.
Okay, great. I'm glad you gave me permission. Today, we're talking about something a little different. It's not going to sound naughty or filthy or, but it is. Just trust me. I grossed myself out researching this because I thought too hard about some things.
I see.
So this one is more of like a Nature's Metal episode. It's not gory though, but I just want to put that out front in case you don't like those kinds. That's what this one is. But I want to talk about food stashing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Food stashing.
Yeah. So like at surface, I see you.
No, I'm already thinking of so many horrifying ways
great.
this could go.
Fantastic.
Because there's some really messed up stuff that happens with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we're going to the dark side on this episode.
I don't think I know what you're talking about, so I'm not prepared.
I'm ready.
I'm so excited. And please share any stories that you have that I don't cover. But yeah, a lot of people, we think of like food stashing, food caching as like woodpeckers putting nuts in holes in trees. And like that's well and good. They're very talented.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're going to talk about. And they're it's very cool. A lot of birds are like really, really good at remembering where like all their stashes are. And like, again, very, very cool. But we're going the morbid side. We'll start out like less morbid and get a little bit more disturbing towards the end.
Perfect.
And I want to start with moles.
Moles.
Aw,
Not
Yeah.
butcher birds?
No,
Oh.
moles.
that's pretty metal.
It is pretty metal.
Moles.
Not as metal as moles, though.
I didn't know moles.
Because I think I know how this goes, too.
What? How do you know this? I didn't even know that moles stored food.
Yeah.
They just eat bugs.
This is gonna
They
get. This really is gonna get like increasingly depraved. I'm ready for this. Feels bad. Feels good. All right, let's go.
Okay.
You're so hyped up about this.
Well, it's a very different kind of episode. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, moles. They're very cute. They're like little round little ding dongs digging around the tunnels. Big old noses, big old front paws. They're very cute.
Yeah,
but
that's
they're
a good visual reference for a mole.
Yeah, thank you. Their fur goes both ways. Okay. Anyways,
It's very velvety. They feel
velvety.
They feel good to touch.
they really do. They really do. Anyways, they love to eat invertebrates, as Rachel said.
Mhm.
And it's not just insects. What they really love to eat is worms. They love worms.
Don't we all?
The silence after that statement.
Who doesn't love to eat a good worm?
Have you eaten a worm?
No.
Okay, I haven't either.
I haven't either. Just
Fried
so-
worm?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mealworm.
I have eaten a mealworm.
I don't think I have, surprisingly. I think I have been offered them before.
Yeah.
By humans and animals, but
Yeah.
Say what?
Like a little gift from a really flirty
Oh.
bird or
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
That
How
you
many
might
birds
work-
are flirting with you guys?
A few used to.
yeah.
Yeah. I think one of them considered me to be a mate
Yes.
Oh, that's
of
right.
his. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one used to bully Nicole, so I don't know.
Like Nicole
Yeah.
is that bird's mortal enemy.
It's true.
If it was like Uncanny Valley. That's not Rachel.
Right? Yeah. It's
How
like,
dare you?
anyways, back to moles. Very cute, underground, eating worms. And they do some kind of messed up things. 90 to 100%
Wow.
of a European mole's diet in winter specifically will be worms. It makes sense. They're tunneling around underground. The worms are underground in winter. They can slurp them up as they go. But it's more complex than that. They are making giant stashes underground of just bundles of worms that they can visit throughout the winter. And these caches can have like 500 to maybe even 1,000 worms in them. And that's like 2 to 4 pounds of worms.
My God.
So many.
It's so many.
I have a question.
I've seen like burrow diagrams where don't they have like a room in there that they call like a larder or something? Yeah, where they just like
Stash all the worms. Yeah.
It's
and
like
just
a ball of twine, but
just
it's
a writhing mass of.
because are they alive?
They are.
Yeah.
Why do they stay there? Why don't they leave?
What a great question. Yeah.
I'm
why
so
are these
confused. How do you contain a worm in dirt? Like,
Yeah, no, great question. It's because the moles are immobilizing the worms. They will bite their heads and paralyze them, and then leave them alive in a larder to eat later.
that's possible?
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
They're not the only like fossorial mammal that does this.
Correct.
Yeah.
Shrews do it too.
Yeah, they do.
What?
Yeah.
Shrews do it a little different. They are venomous, a lot of them, and will paralyze their prey with venom rather than just like, I don't know, blunt force trauma, I guess. They have, like, their prey can remain paralyzed for up to 2 weeks is kind of what the research is suggesting. Maybe it's a little longer, but 2 weeks, just like hanging out under a burrow waiting to be eaten. Horrifying.
Like I've heard that like short-tailed shrews, because like they have, they have like a they're like, well, I guess they're like pseudovenomous, right? Because they don't like inject. They have like
Correct.
saliva. That's
Yes.
very.
So they don't inject. They have grooves on their teeth that let the saliva from their salivary glands kind of like go up the tooth and into their prey as they're biting it. And they can have the shrews can have all sorts of things like in these larders because they eat a lot of different things. They're not just eating inverts. They can have like other shrews. They can have frogs. They sometimes even have birds down in their larders.
Like just paralyzed birds underground in the dark waiting to die.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know, it's like real horror movie stuff.
That's horrific.
It's dark shit. Yeah.
It's real bad.
Like,
Yeah.
even if you regained like movement in your body as a bird, how would you even know how to, you couldn't get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Oh, I'm just picturing a bird crawling through the dark with like one working wing trying to find an exit. Like,
Oh no.
I can't even see in the dark. Oh.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Woo.
no.
Ooh, guys. Yep. This episode is allegedly going to keep getting darker.
Oh no.
Like, okay,
Why didn't I know this?
I had also heard that like, or I had also read somewhere that like short-tailed shrews, and maybe you saw this as well, but like they will also, like when they capture something that is, like a wolf spider, for example, I'd heard they will like remove legs from this prey.
I mean, probably.
in order to immobilize it further.
Yeah. I'm
which
sure
is
they
also
would.
like very grim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with shrews in particular, like they have such a fast metabolism. Like they have to eat like every few hours. So like these larders constantly have to be refreshed. And like it's like this is the only lifestyle that works for them just because of like their biology.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
they're,
they
like,
have to have
non-hibernating.
they don't hibernate. Like they slow down in the winter, but they don't hibernate, so they have to have fresh food constantly available. So
wow. That's crazy.
another fun
gross.
worm fact, if we go back to our mole, I saw a description of how they eat the worms.
Oh boy.
Spaghetti style.
I mean, yes, they do eat it spaghetti style for sure. But they also will take their little mole hands and like squeeze the worm and like run their hands down the length of the worm to like get the dirt off, but also to get the dirt out. They're squeezing them like a tube of toothpaste.
no.
And just like making sure that snack is nice and clean for them.
Oh boy.
Good for them.
Good for them.
But my God, what a visual.
What a visual, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Spaghetti style? No, toothpaste style.
Toothpaste style, yeah.
Yep. So that's fun.
Thanks.
Yeah, we're off to a great start here.
Yeah.
This is-
So I'm telling you, I started researching this. I'm saving the one that like inspired this podcast for last
Okay.
because I find it the most horrific, but
Okay.
like it's all bad.
It's all bad, yeah. True nature's metal stuff right here.
Yep.
4 pounds of living paralyzed worms.
Yeah.
And then just diving into it like Scrooge McDuck.
Mhm.
Squeezing them like a toothpaste tube.
Yep. Anyways, let's move out of Mammal Town and let's go into Bug Town.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really messed up things that bugs do.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna focus in on one, but we can't not talk about parasitic wasps.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
They paralyze their prey, drag it underground, lay eggs on it, and then let their babies eat it alive later. I mean, great moms. Just a bad way to go, though.
Yeah, a little horrifying. I feel like there's several movies that have been made about how horrifying that would be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Incubate other things, eggs, and yeah.
Classic body horror stuff, yeah.
I listened to Bug Banter by Xerces Society the other day, and they were talking about how bees are vegan wasps. And I was like, yeah, that's a really
Bees are
cute way to
vegan
think
wasps.
about.
Oh my gosh.
Because, like, it's at least mostly the wasps that are doing these horrifying things about, like,
Yeah.
providing a really protein-rich meal for their babies.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, the bees are just, like,
Huh.
wrapping their babies up in leaves and being like, okay, good job. Good luck.
There's no predatory bee?
Because I was trying to think, there are, like, what are they called? Like, that one hymenopteron that, they're called something really weird.
Hmm.
They like actively like will carve flesh out of like a carcass and feed it to its babies is a wasp. So
Oh,
I
okay.
really think
Huh.
I cannot think of any examples of bees that eat meat.
Sweet.
I'm sure it exists somewhere,
Nice.
even if it's known to science at this point. Like I'm sure that exists,
Yeah.
but I cannot think of any examples.
What about a sweat bee? Because that's not, if their
It's not vegan.
sweat is an animal byproduct.
That's true.
Yeah, an
That's
animal
true.
did work to produce that sweat, and then they're reaping the benefits.
They're exploiting my labor.
You're right. You're right.
That's nice though.
Yeah.
Does that make sweat to bees like honey is to humans?
Oh,
Kind of a
my.
honeydew situation, a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Let's just spend like 5 more seconds in happy bee land.
Mhm.
Aw,
Oh,
Look at their
bees are-
fuzzy little butts.
they're so cute.
Aw.
and their
Little
fuzzy
mustaches.
eyeballs.
No.
Not
No,
that
okay,
kind.
my
Yeah.
bad.
Okay, well, on that note, let's move on to ants.
Yeah.
Ants do a lot of really horrific things. And they do a lot of really cool things too. Getting food from farming fungus or raising aphids and harvesting their honeydew. Excellent farmers, very inventive. They also do a lot of really horrific things. Fire ants in particular are known in lab settings, which I thought was really interesting, to cut off strips of like insect prey that was given to them and leave it outside of the nest and just like let it kind of dry out and get gross up there. And this only happens when there's an excess of food. So scientists were really puzzled by this for a long time and started looking at fire ants in the wild, who had a very similar behavior that they would do. The fire ants, if they had an excess of food, would, again, kind of rip their insect prey into little slivers and leave it at the very top of the nest, so still inside, but right inside the entrance where it's very hot and very dry.
Are they making jerky?
They're making insect jerky.
Oh my god, that's cool.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
so clever.
It's so cool.
So good. Ants are so cool.
Ants are wild. And like, I guess it's not like super horrific, but it's just like very interesting to think that like how did they figure this out to just have like a drying station for like excess prey, and they'll use that specifically to feed babies a lot of time, especially, and like they found that if in lab settings, if the ants were starved after making a whole bunch of jerky, that they would prioritize feeding their babies first that jerky, and continuously feeding them the jerky. So really, really weird. And I don't know, like if I dug up an anthill and I just found like a bunch of little pieces of jerky, that'd be just mind-blowing.
I mean, that is really weird because like, you know, even like relatively more complex animals, like I'm trying to think of what are other examples of like an animal that, you know, like plenty of things stash food for the future.
Yeah.
But how many like plan on producing a separate like source of food for the future,
like
whether
a
that
preserved
be,
for
like preserving a food for the future. Like that's a really crazy animal behavior.
Yes.
Like, I mean, that on top of like fungus farming, you know, honeydew, aphids, like all that, this is just like, that's really bizarre, right? Like I can't think of another animal that does that.
Yeah, not with, you know, protein.
Yeah.
Or like animal based stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot of pretty much everyone that I'm talking about here is animals that eat protein. And like, so like foxes and wolves and I don't know, jaguars and stuff will like stash food, but it's a prey item that they killed and it's going to rot within a few days.
Yeah.
So like, if you're trying to keep a protein source fresh, you're either drying it out like jerky or you're keeping it alive. Like that, those are the only options. And as far as I know, it's only ants that are able to figure out how to make jerky. So
yeah, but it seems like bees, wasps, ants, and like all as a group are like, I don't know, are other animals doing this kind of like food production?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Hymenopterans are weird.
It's weird. Whew.
Yeah.
Whew.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
There is another type of ant called Sarapatches ants. I could not tell you what the common name is. I didn't write it down. But they are specialized ants that attack other ant species. And it's more than just like a brutal bloodbath. That's very common in the ant world. They'll just like attack another ant colony and like kill everyone in that other ant colony. They will specifically seek out workers that are overseeing the nurseries, kill all of those workers, steal the babies, paralyzing them in the process, bring them back to their nest, and just keep the babies alive until they need a snack.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're juicy little larvae. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, those little babies. Just robbing a whole nursery of all those little babies.
Yeah. It's rough.
Are they in cute little like ant bassinets? Like, how do they keep it? You know, no. I mean, because like bees keep them in little, you know, cells.
Yeah.
It's like a little bee bassinet.
Yeah.
Like, what do ants do with their babies? Are they just in a pile? I've never seen them except when I break it open. You know.
Yeah, I have also, like if I lift up a rock, I see like a bunch of ant babies just like laying around. But yeah, I don't know for sure, honestly. Maybe it is that simple.
Just like a room full of babies.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a system to it.
Probably.
Yeah. But man, aw.
Yeah.
Well, this is like why, you know, when like, okay, you know, like in sci-fi, if you want to make an alien race like seem really depraved or, you know, greedy or avaricious or whatever, it's like they're gonna have a lot of time with ants. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yes. Woo.
But yeah, and then, you know, Pantry runs low, just go raid another nest and steal their babies. This next one is more of a psychological horror, like as far as like
Okay.
like not that being kept alive until you're ready to get eaten isn't psychological horror, but anyways. How
Different
familiar?
genre.
Yeah, different genre. how familiar are you guys with honeypot ants?
Ooh.
The things that I'm thinking of are more body horror.
Yeah.
Like I believe that they get stuffed full of sugar and then they vomit it out to feed each other.
Correct. Yes.
But that doesn't really seem like psychological horror to me.
Well, my bad. Maybe it's body horror.
It's all relative.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't know. It really. I was thinking about it too much, and it really freaked me out. But like many ants, the honeypot society is broken up into different castes, different groups of workers. There's workers that go out, collect food, including a lot of pollen and a lot of nectar, and bring that back to the nest. There's other ants that are just kind of hanging out, not doing a whole lot. And those are going to be the honeypots. While they do get to just kind of hang out and not do a lot of work and just get taken care of constantly, they are also just being basically force-fed a ton of nectar.
Okay. Pause for a moment, because I did not. I didn't realize it like wasn't their choice and it was like a separate cast. I thought it was just something that all the ants did and they just like ate a bunch of stuff on their own.
No, it's a separate cast.
They're like fattening someone. They're like fattening up like the chosen few for like sacrifice.
Oh my god.
Oh god, it's weird. It's so weird.
It's like sacrificial
foie
it's gras.
Good stuff. Yeah, it is. I was gonna say it's like ant foie gras. That's horrifying.
But it's like their own meat. Like that's so like. Oh my brother over here. You're the honeypot. Open up.
Yeah.
Oh, man, deeply unethical ants.
Yeah. These
do the honeypots struggle like.
We'll get to it.
No.
These special ants, they're called repletes. They basically just hang onto the ceiling of like a separate little room just for them. Their little swollen grape-sized abdomens are just hanging behind them like freely in the air. And like grape-sized, ants are tiny.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my god, yeah.
Woo.
And their abdomens get so engorged that they become transparent and you can see the liquid inside of it.
Oh god.
So bad.
Wait, how does that happen with an exoskeleton?
It's like a flexy, like a tensile thing.
So all ants have, I can't remember the name for it. It's kind of like a crop in a bird where they can store food. But the repletes have a particularly large crop that it just swells with them. I can show you a picture of what that looks like. But you'll notice, like if you look up a picture of a honeypot ant, you'll see kind of dark bands on their abdomen. And those are like the plates. Those are their exoskeleton. And then the rest is just like their bodies being so swollen that it just kind of...
It's just tissue.
It's just tissue. Yeah.
Wow.
You can also see this, like another, like, I guess, good example of like this swollen abdomen condition is scorpions. Female scorpions, when they're gravid, their abdomens will swell and you can see like the individual plates on their back of their exoskeleton.
Oh, cool.
But here's a picture.
Oh, I see the bands. Oh no.
So completely different casts of ants. There are some ants that are going out getting food, and then there's the repletes, the like literal honeypots that are full of nectar, and they literally just hang from the ceiling all day. That's all they probably can do, honestly. Once you get big enough, you're probably not going to be able to like move anymore.
That's wild. This picture is like it's like a curved ceiling, like a little cave, and they're just clinging to the top and their butts are hanging down like sick, I don't know, just they look like pods, like vases that have a little cap on them, but the cap is the part of their exoskeleton that can't swell because it's their bones. And then there's a bunch of ants just sitting right next to them on the ground, like just hanging out, who look very normal.
Yeah, but they're not normal.
Wait, so they're just born like that, and it's like, oop, I'm a honeypot ant.
Yeah.
Or I'm a replete.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, they're a eusocial insect, so it's everything for the safety, the security of the hive.
Yes.
All for the next generation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And then when food is low and it's hard to find resources, their non-honeypot brethren will go up, rub their little antennas, and beg for food. And the honeypots will throw up in their mouths, and that's how they eat. So,
That's really totally normal.
I mean, that is really normal for ants.
Yeah.
The whole replete thing is a little, but.
Now, I guess, okay. Why are they hanging from the ceiling then butt down if they're going to throw up in someone's mouth? Shouldn't there be like some sort of like spigot? Shouldn't something like that have evolved if this was going to be the plan?
Maybe that's for easy waste removal and keeping the
honestly,
repletes clean.
Yeah.
I guess that's better than them like biting into the abdomen, just like feeding that way.
No, yeah. It's probably consensual. I tried, again, really tried not to think about it too much.
Yeah, no, don't think about it too much.
Yeah.
What if it's involuntary and like when they rub their antenna, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, probably. Let's be real.
Imagine that just being your existence. That could make a really interesting movie. Like, no, Mom, I want to break out of my mold. I don't want to be a replete. I want to be a dancer. It's like A Bug's Life 3.
Yeah, they really didn't touch on this.
Dot's grandchildren refuse to be honeypots.
All right. Well, that's an idea.
Thank you. I thought it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
I will pitch it to Disney.
Let's take a little bee break real quick.
Oh.
You guys know how have you guys seen that video of that little leafcutter bee? It's just like coming out of his little cocoon.
Yeah, he's in a little burrito.
Yeah, he's in a little bee burrito.
Just a little baby.
So cute.
I showed that to some people last night, and they went, "Oh."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, exactly."
Exactly.
Aw.
Aww.
That's great. Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, back to it.
Yeah. We are moving out of Ant Town and into Bird Town.
Okay.
Birds. So I can't not talk about shrikes.
Yay!
Yeah, Rachel brought them up first thing. But shrikes are very lovely. They're beautiful birds. They have like wonderful like makeup, like just gorgeous. They love to impale their prey on thorns.
Oh yeah.
Metal.
And just make a different kind of larder that's actually like always out and on display, which is interesting and different compared to all these other larders, all these other stashes.
That does seem kind of risky, thinking about it out loud. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I was reading up a little bit on why they might do this. And even though they are using it to store food and they will sometimes come back for the food that's left on the thorns or left on the barbed wire fence, a lot of times like they will use the thorns to help them like rip off legs and just like eat it right then and there. They don't really come back to those very often for actual like resources unless they need to. I was reading that these really just wonderful gruesome displays can actually be very appealing to potential mates.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah,
Look
it's
how
like a territorial, but also like a
Look at the wealth that I
Yes.
have.
I am so good at hunting that I just have all this extra food laying around. Like, look at me.
Oh, it's like a little dragon horde.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that is very attractive.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, it's a big flex, honestly.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I just found it really interesting that it's just like on display, and I mean, it makes sense for their lifestyle. Like, they're really good hunters. They don't necessarily need the food. That's a great way to show off and claim your turf. So
it's just kind of wanton death and destruction.
Yeah.
And then impaling. It's kind of like heads on a stick, but instead of marking warnings against your enemy, it's like for the ladies.
yeah,
For sure. Yeah.
Do the ladies do it for the men?
I honestly am not sure.
Oh.
Yeah, great question.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, oh. Yeah, that's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Maybe
mean,
they might.
that's bird world for you.
Yeah.
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 Barbed wire was really good for the Shrike industry.
What was?
Barbed wire.
Oh, barbed wire. Yeah.
That really
Huge
changed the
development
game.
for Shreks.
Yeah.
My gosh. Yeah. Wow. It's like it was made for them.
Yeah.
Just
I really
line those things up.
hate the concept of barbed wire.
Oh, it's terrible.
Love it for Shrikes.
Yeah.
I have 2 separate scars on my hand from barbed wire, so I'm biased on this. But
Congrats.
Yeah.
yeah.
I've definitely lost a couple pair of pants to barbed wire.
Oh God,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what a terrible invention. You just want to go walk out in a field, okay?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Terrible.
That's what the deer say too.
Yeah, but they
When they
lose their
get caught.
entrails.
And their lives.
Yeah.
But Shrikes, loving it.
Loving it.
Yeah, a lot of things do
Oh.
lose their lives in that instance too. But
That's true.
not
true.
the Shrikes. Yeah.
But the Shrikes are just like, it's like a romance, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, it's really cute.
It is really cute.
Yeah. It's like, look at all the stuff I impaled for you.
Yeah.
And
Aw,
then, okay,
for me?
you can be my sugar daddy. My
Yes.
corpse daddy. I regret saying that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Hmm.
Good band name, though.
It'd be wild if animals could use the internet and like post things.
Those are the best that they can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Totally.
they got some strange opinions.
The bonobo forums.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah.
This brings us to my last animal
Oh,
that I want to talk about.
Oh.
Unless, I feel like Alan still has some fun things to talk about. Well,
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, this last one
Mm-hmm.
is another bird,
yay!
which is why I talked about the Shrike right before.
Bird, bird, bird.
And this is the one that inspired this episode because I had no idea this happened.
Very excited.
It really freaked me out. Um, this last bird is called the Eleanor's falcon.
Eleanor's falcon.
Yeah,
Eleanor's?
that's how I saw it pronounced.
Oh, is this like it's named after like
A person.
A
A
person.
person.
Yeah,
Yes.
Eleanor's
Like a-
falcon.
the
Yes.
Queen of Spain, possibly?
Sure. These guys.
I have seen these birds.
Ooh, okay.
Not like in real life. I've I've
Oh.
seen them. I've heard of them. I don't
Okay.
know anything that's about to come out of your mouth.
I feel
Okay,
like
great.
I feel like I've seen them in a Wingspan chart.
Oh.
I think this is in one of
yeah.
the expansions.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so they are from the Mediterranean.
Ooh.
They are nesting along the shores of the Mediterranean and then northern Africa ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will migrate down the east side of Africa and even into Madagascar, but they are breeding up north. And this particular thing that they do is happening during breeding season.
Okay.
Because raising babies is very hard work.
Yeah.
You really need food around all the time because you got lots of little hungry mouths to feed. Conveniently, while they are breeding, there's also a lot of little birds that are breeding
Mhm,
and migrating through the area. So, lots of food to be had.
How big is this falcon for our visual reference?
It's not it's a falcon. It's not like a hawk. So it's larger than the songbirds that it's feeding on, but it's not a really big bird. I don't know like the wingspan or anything.
That's fine.
But it's a good sized bird, but it's not like hawk size by any means.
Bigger than a robin, smaller than a red-tailed hawk.
Oh, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. During breeding season, their diet is almost entirely these little songbirds. And if they manage to catch enough birds that they can't eat all of them, they will rip off their tail feathers, their flight feathers, and drop the now helpless birds into holes in the cliff face.
Whoa.
What the fuck?
That is so dark.
That's so awful. What do you mean holes in the cliff face?
It's a cliff. It's got little holes in it. They're not like making the holes. They're not making the jails, but they just conveniently find some little like crevices. Sometimes it won't even be like a hole. It'll be straight up like just a crack in the rock. They'll just shove the bird in there, and the bird, they don't have to rip the wings off then because the birds are just pinned there and can't move.
Wait, rip the wings off? Is that a thing they do too?
I saw it described as that, but I saw pictures and it looks like it's just like the primaries that are being ripped off, so like the flight feathers.
Yeah.
You think there'd be like at a certain point that's just, like so much trauma it would probably end up killing the bird.
Yeah.
And then you're not really preserving it at that point.
Yeah, plus there's like some meat in there. Not very much, but
Yeah,
That's true.
for sure.
wow. Oh my God. So it's like, what's it called? An oubliette? Like
Oh yeah. Little
Where-
dungeon where
the French dungeon where you just like drop somebody in there and leave them to die. And then you come back to this husk of a person. And I guess in this case, they would eat them. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
ooh.
But yeah, I find this almost like we talked about the birds being underground with the shrews, but this feels almost worse.
It is.
Because
Yeah.
they're just like in a hole and they can see the sky. They see freedom. It's right there. And they can do nothing about it.
Everything
That's
that makes
true.
them a
And-
bird has been ripped away.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're actually like conscious. They're not sedated.
Yes, that is
So.
true also.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're not like paralyzed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yep. So that's fun.
God, that's bad. That's. I feel. Oh man.
Yeah, it's a bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
Do you want to see a couple pictures?
Oh no. I mean, sure. Oh no.
Oh,
This is a little
yeah.
chat, I think.
Oh baby.
so
it has no tail.
No tail, no
No
flight
flight feathers,
feathers. It's
yeah.
just sitting on the
It
ground.
looks like a chick almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even like in a hole. It's just stuck there.
Yeah.
Oh no. It's a holy rock and there's just a little helpless bird head sticking out and it
Oh.
can't do anything about it. Oh, that's so sad.
It's quite sad.
So bad.
Oof.
So yeah.
Oh. And it's like I was like, well, I mean, if they like survived long enough, maybe they would grow some back and they could get up. But like that's not going to happen because they wouldn't be able to like eat
Yeah.
enough food to survive
be
that
able to
long.
molt,
Obviously.
Yeah. Nope.
Good God.
Damn.
Yep. As just like a side note, I also found something about crocodiles that I was like, that seems ridiculous and surely not true.
Is this from San Diego Zoo? Because they do drop some wild ones on us.
My research did lead me to the San Diego Zoo website, but I just left it alone. I couldn't dive down that rabbit hole again.
Yeah, it's best to leave it alone.
Yeah. But this one, like multiple websites again, were like, guess what, guys? Crocodiles will stash their food like under rocks, wait for it to rot so they can rip off the pieces easier. I was like, that seems unhealthy, and it is a
Yeah.
myth. So that is not something that crocodiles do.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
They have
think
the whole
that.
death roll thing. Like they can rip off chunks just fine.
Right.
Yeah.
They're powerful enough to do
Yeah.
whatever they want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like you're just opening yourself up for like animals need to be really specifically adapted to feed on carrion.
Yes.
Like
Oh yeah.
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 So yeah. That's
Interesting.
a lie. But it was an interesting lie that I found.
Yeah.
And very pervasive. Like I had never heard that before, but there was a whole lot of websites out there and videos that were like, yes, this definitely happens. And then I found like one person that was like an actual like crocodile research, and he was like, what? No.
Man, at some point we do need to talk about the bizarre amount of animal misinformation on the internet.
It is wild.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
And like when there's really reputable places like the San Diego Zoo again
Yeah.
that are like posting things that have no sources to back it up, it's like I'm inclined to believe you because you're like an institution that you're supposed to have trust in.
Yeah.
But what? Where are the sources? Missouri Department of Conservation. Why? Who said this and it got mistranslated along the way?
Yeah.
Making some really out-of-pocket claims, and then they're going to end up on some other fandom wiki about animals. And
so many of those too. That also, we were talking about that at work the other day. Like, ooh.
Yeah, I found like this has happened 3 different times with 3 different fandoms where I'll search for an animal. One of the top Google search results will be something on fandom, like a wiki on fandom, where somebody has posted all this very seemingly credible information. But then it's also, for whatever reason, within the context of whatever fantasy world the fandom is about.
Yeah, and it's like here's some stats on the blues. Was it the Xerxes?
Yeah, we're looking at the Xerxes. Yeah, like the fandom site, it took us to a fandom page, had great information about it, and then it had like stat blocks.
It's resistant to bone magic.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have bones.
It doesn't have bones.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Like what fighting game was it for? Like
I don't even know. It was like versus something, but like anyway. Just sources are cool.
Check out our sources in the episode description.
There we go.
Yeah.
We are fighting the tide of misinformation.
We're gonna try. Although I feel never mind. Sometimes I worry because we'll mention those things and have discussions about them, and then it's like the ostrich thing went viral, and it's like we discussed in the episode like
that we don't know if this is true.
Credible?
Yeah.
Like
Whoops.
But it's fine.
Oh well.
Just off the record, did we ever find out any more information about that?
I never looked into it. I refuse to look into that because I want it to be true.
We're part of the problem.
No.
I mean, one dubious ostrich fact.
I think we were. I think we treated that with a skeptical eye as we recorded that.
Oh, we did for sure. Yeah.
Because it didn't make any goddamn sense. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Man. Okay.
Thanks, Nicole.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
Hey, Nicole, that was real dark, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was real good, though. That was like true, just nature is truly, truly horrifying sometimes.
Yeah.
You promised us some deets on ant executions and we never got them.
Oh, so
like you posted a thing and you were like, check this out, guys.
No, I said I got distracted by a title of a paper. Let me read it for the audience.
Yeah, I would like to know about the ant executions before we go. Thank you. Who are they executing? Are they being turned into jerky?
No, they're not. So I found this paper when I was reading about ants and the messed up things they do. And it was called Ant Executions Serve a Higher Purpose, Research Shows.
What higher purpose? Ant God.
I honestly can't remember. It was a blur, but they were talking. It sounds like it was related to ant gods. It was not. It was about like food availability and like they are thinning their numbers so that the rest of the herd can survive and stuff like that.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
This is not a ant justice system.
Nah.
Okay.
Well, okay, so part of it was if an ant like stepped out of line and like did something that was a faux pas in ant society, they would kill them.
Yeah.
And like they talked about these executions lasting hours.
Wow. This is like Braveheart style.
Yeah.
To
like,
make an execution last that long.
Right? Like I'm like, surely you can just chop off their head and like be done with it. But no, like they would be stinging and biting them and it would last for hours.
Dang.
You gotta keep all the other ants in line and
literally
show them what happens if you step out of line.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's all coming back to me. This was a species of ant that instead of having like one queen that's producing babies, technically all of the females are capable of reproducing, which is extremely like weird for ants. So whenever the females would produce like too many babies, or they would be reproducing outside of like normal breeding season, and it wasn't like an appropriate time to reproduce, they would be executed.
Yeah, well, you know, it's all for the swarm, right?
All for the swarm.
Also,
Let's talk about like ant queens real quick, like, because that's also like some body horror. Like, there's the honeypots where you're being like taken care of, and like sometimes they make you throw up. But can you imagine your whole existence is to like sit, like literally just sit in one spot and like produce babies for your entire life?
Yeah, that's wild. I feel like pop culture takes ants and makes it seem like it's a monarchy where the queen is in total control, but she's like the furthest from in control of anything.
Yeah.
She's just like a baby producing machine that everybody keeps alive.
Yeah.
Woo.
If they leave her, like, she's dead. Like,
yeah. Good stuff, guys.
Good stuff.
It's weird out there.
It is weird out there.
And dark.
But, you know,
especially if you're in a mole tunnel, paralyzed.
Thanks for that, Nicole.
Everything's got to eat, you know.
But do they have to eat like that?
You know, well, yeah.
I mean, maybe the shrews have to, but like that falcon definitely doesn't have to do that.
No, that falcon's just being a dick.
Yeah, a little bit.
Want to take us away?
Take us away? Sure. Thank you for listening to this very special episode of Filthy Animals. This podcast is produced by GrasslandGroupies, dedicated to spreading scientific literacy in the interest of preserving our favorite natural resources on this filthy planet. Send us fan mail at 4925 South Broadway, number 69, Wichita, Kansas, 67216. Other social and contact is in the notes. And Nicole, if there's ever a time for brain bleach, it would be now. We so desperately need you to tell us something wholesome to get us through the rest of this day.
Yeah. Like, this is the most filthy I've felt after.
This is
possibly the only time I've felt truly filthy at the end of an episode.
Yeah, we got to limit the nature is metal content to like, we got to like, you know, we got to get it, we got to cram it all into one episode, and then, you know, let's go back to fun, sexy things. Yeah. And drugs. Yeah.
Okay. I did prepare a brain bleach for you guys. Because as we talked about at the very beginning of the episode, there's lots of animals that do caching. Sometimes it's very cute. My favorite one is the pika.
This is a good one.
Cute little fluffy mountain-dwelling rodent things, and they're just so cute.
Round.
And so round and so fluffy, and it's very cold up in the mountain. So they gather up grass, make a little hay hammock for themselves underground, and just nibble and just hang out and just very cute.
Yeah, and they're like little hay piles become like a little ecosystem of themselves, like a little habitat for other stuff.
So their hay, a lot of the food that is in these little hay stashes is actually poisonous for them, but as they are like decomposing and like resting in these little hay like piles, they become more palatable.
Aww, they're making themselves palatable food. That's kind of like long-term cooking.
Yeah,
that's really nice. Yeah.
Aww.
You're like letting it ferment. Yeah, that's really cute.
Oh, to be a pika in a hay hammock.
No.
In the mountains, in the cold, staying warm.
No.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
That is proper brain bleach. I feel snuggly and warm now. Like glad. No falcon should ever get me.
Don't bring them up again.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.